Meeting, please come to order. Barbara, please call the roll.
We have Commissioners Berard, Funderburk, and Levine present.
Thank you. This proceeding is broadcast on Channel 35. The exact broadcast times can be found by contacting Channel 35. I apologize for being late. Don't drive north on Figueroa. Few blocks are completely closed off. Just FYI. We have 3 public comment cards, Barbara.
Yes. Please limit your comments to 2 minutes. The first speaker is Douglas Quill.
Good morning, President Levine and honorable commissioners. My name is Douglas Quill. I own a small film production company that I run from the Lot Studios. I'm speaking with you today as a private citizen, a filmmaker, and a preservationist. This April, the LA DWP have scheduled to demolish several historic buildings located on the Lot Studios. I started this petition in hopes of finding an alternative solution to the destruction of Hollywood cinematic history, which is loved and shared around the world. In just a short period of time, I've received tremendous support from other production companies, including Gary Sanchez Productions, Funny or Die, as well as many historic preservationists, including the LA Conservancy. The Lot, formerly known as the Pickford Fairbanks Studio, the United Artists Corporation, and the Samuel Goldwyn Studio, is extremely significant in the heritage of Hollywood and the industry of film production. It was essentially founded by a group of rebel filmmakers determined to break the mold of conventional Hollywood cinema. This studio has served as the foundation for many notable founders and filmmakers alike, including Charlie Chaplin, Douglas Fairbanks, D.W. Griffith, Francis Ford Coppola, George Lucas, and yes, even Steven Spielberg. In regards to the properties set for demolition, films including West Side Story, Star Wars, The Wizard of Oz, The Apartment, Raging Bull, Indiana Jones, and The Godfather have been mixed and mastered in these sound stages, which again are set for destruction. Frank Sinatra himself occupied what is now known as the Sinatra Bungalow while recording the famous Concert Sinatra, buildings which are also marked for demolition. Fans, artists, and others alike travel from all over the world to experience a taste of the golden age of Hollywood. What reason have they to come if there's nothing left to experience? Needless to say, the LA Conservancy, additional preservation organizations, and community members alike are deeply concerned about the potential loss of this Hollywood heritage. At this time, the LA Conservancy is asking LADWP, CIM to meet with us and discuss possible solutions, including the relocation of the Sinatra Bungalow. It's a small building that can be easily moved to another site. We want to work with the LADWP and ask for a commitment to meet with your leadership team soon before any demolition commences. The Conservancy has been in contact with CIM, and we believe they are also interested and willing to meet to discuss alternatives.
Could you wrap up your remarks, please?
I'm sorry?
Could you wrap up your remarks, please?
May I just make one final comment, please?
Go ahead.
Thank you. I have with me today hard copies of the LA Conservancy's commitment and eagerness to work with the LADWP. I can only imagine that the LADWP has appreciable needs for this land, but please, I beg of you, reconsider your options. Once this history is destroyed, it's lost forever. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The next speaker is John Girodo.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is John Girodo, and I'm the Vice President of Preservation Issues for Hollywood Heritage Incorporated. The Commissioners have a letter from the LA Conservancy requesting a pause or stay of demolition for historic structures on the DWP property connected to the Lot Studio at 1041 Formosa Avenue in order to simply have a conversation with the LA Conservancy to explore alternatives. This is simple due diligence. Years have passed since this was reviewed, and the LA Conservancy is asking for that conversation. Personally, I have coordinated relocation feasibility studies for multiple historic properties, including along with CIM, and have reviewed multiple studio lot expansion master plans. This is a worthy cause to have a pause to discuss a possible win-win situation. Again, we're asking for one, a stay or pause to the demolition, simply to have a conversation with the Los Angeles Conservancy, and to allow time for a relocation feasibility study for the Sinatra Bungalow. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Linda Romney.
Good morning. I have a very urgent matter to set before you. As you know, this commission did pass the Ratepayers Bill of Rights. One of those items, very standard, should be the right to receive a timely bill. Nevertheless, for 9 months, with 5 written correspondence to management, I have not received for 9 months a bill. After I personally came down on March 7th and gave a copy to this commission as well as to Sharon Grove's office, finally, on March 14th, I received 9 months of past bills. The excessive water that I'm being charged was a result of my trying to mitigate a half an acre of prime landscape property and rental property that was dead. Why dead? Because 54 letters that I had sent to the management were totally and completely ignored. The fact of the matter is that when a landlord tries to put the water and the electric back into their name after a tenant, and we call and you have our driver's license, why then would you require our social security number? And if we refuse, then we have to post a deposit. If not, you refuse to turn the water and the electric back on. So for 9 months, I then have a half an acre of landscape property that is totally and completely dead and loss of rent. I brought this to the commissioner's attention. I have filed a claim. I did California Public Information Act. What happened? When I'm in the legal department filing my claim, Gladys Berry comes in. She's waving the CD. Yes, I have it here, but you're not going to receive it. You can hear it, but you can't have a copy. Please, something needs to be done about this situation. I brought it to your attention before. The ratepayer has to be given an opportunity to have addressed their issues in a timely manner instead of forcing us into litigation. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
That was the last speaker for item 2.
General Manager report. Comments from commissioners? Is that a yes or a no?
No.
No. Comments from ratepayer advocate?
I will have very brief comments on the combination of 10 through 12.
Okay. File items. RPS, January 2017.
The information is in your packet, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
I did have a question on it. And it relates more to the overlap with the budget request that I made. I just wanted to make sure that when the budget comes back before us in May, that alternatives analysis is done so that the ratepayers can see how much their bills will be going up if we choose alternatives other than what we are presented, namely not powering up the Scattergood plant and pursuing other things that are somewhat related to our renewable portfolio standard.
We will bring that back I believe, the next meeting on a broader presentation, but we will also include that in the budget.
Thank you.
Water quality report, January through December 2016.
So this is a regulatory required annual water quality report, a right-to-know report for our customers. It's usually published a few months from now, but we had reason to print it ahead of time, so April 1st is our earliest printing of that. You'll find it very informative, gives a lot of technical details so our folks can know exactly what's in their water, but also gives an opportunity for us to tell a story of water quality and our infrastructure program in general. So it's part of your packet.
Questions? Discussion with neighborhood council representatives on any neighborhood council resolution or community impact statement filed with the city clerk which relate to any agenda item listed or being considered on this agenda for the Water and Power Board.
No community impact statements or formal positions were filed by any neighborhood councils on the items on today's agenda.
We will now move to the agenda. Item 9, approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the regular and special board meeting of March 21st?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
They're approved. We are going to defer item 14. We have speaker cards on items 13 and 17, and Dr. Pickle has comments on items 10 through 12. Dr. Pickle, do you want to make your comments on 10 through 12, and then we'll see whether or not we can move all of these on consent other than the ones with the speaker card?
I think you can. We wanted to compliment the department on the increased level of detail and specificity in the materials related to healthcare.
That's a very appreciated comment.
I think we need a vote to defer item number 14.
Okay. May I have a motion to defer item 14?
So moved.
Second, those in favor?
Aye.
It's deferred. Are there other items besides 13 and 17 that any commissioners would like to pull from the consent calendar? Is there a motion to approve items 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, and 18?
So moved.
Second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, and 18 are approved. 14 is deferred. We will hear items 13 and 17. We have 2 speaker cards for each. Barbara?
For item 13, the first speaker is Tony Wilkinson.
I chair the Neighborhood Council Department of Water and Power Memorandum of Understanding Oversight Committee, which is created by the agreement that is before you today, or to consider extending. And we had 2 meetings on this actually in the Oversight Committee. One of them 2 months ago was a really wonderful discussion about the history of this, where it started because neighborhood councils felt that they had inadequate notice of a proposed rate increase, which was too high, and nobody explained anything about why the rate increase was needed. So there's some anger. But then actually, and I wasn't here, but this came from the department. So Jerry Gouy, who was the head of the water system at the time, said, wait a minute, there's some things for us in this too, and actually partnered with the neighborhood councils to build something that worked for both sides. That's how it got started. And all I can say, having succeeded Soledad Garcia in chairing the committee, it's been working great ever since. At least the amount that I've seen, the amount of openness and disclosure that this has created, because this is not about neighborhood councils, as I've said to you before. To me, this is about the public. Neighborhood councils are just a proxy for everyone they're supposed to represent. So if there's a better understanding and better communication, the whole world gets that. And I do, if you choose to extend this, and it was a unanimous vote of the Oversight Committee to please do so, they're on board. One of the things I'm looking forward to is that under Assistant General Manager Joe Romalo, he's got the communications tools, and if it's extended, I'm looking forward to sitting down with Assistant General Manager Romalo to make neighborhood councils an even better advocate for information for this department. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much.
The next speaker is Linda Romney.
As you know, on your agenda is number 8, discussion with neighborhood council representative on any neighborhood council item relating to the community. Where are they? Where is the written subjection to this commission? I've attended this meeting over and over and over again. I have yet to see them. The fact of the matter is that done does not require any outreach. And if there is no requirement for outreach to the community, and if you restrict your individuals that you are supposed to represent to the last 2 minutes of the meeting, and then totally and completely ignore what they're presenting to you as far as the problems that are occurring as an interface between the community and the Department of Water and Power, it's not occurring. The fact of the matter is you need individuals who have a personal responsibility to the community, like the commissioners here do, and who are volunteers, and who are selfless. Where are they? They should be here attending these meetings and presenting these issues that are presented in the community to the Department of Water and Power. But it's not occurring. So what is the solution? The solution is that we need to adopt and appoint the individuals who are concerned, who are here, who travel from the San Fernando Valley and spend the better part of their entire day to address you. Thank you for your time and consideration.
I don't want to engage in a dialogue about this, but simply to note for the record that the speaker before you was representing the neighborhood councils.
No, if I might mention, I know that he does, and he does a good job, but it's not assimilating to the rest of the community.
Okay. Is there any discussion, additional discussion on item 13? Commissioner Barat.
Thank you. Well, as the founder and chair of the largest neighborhood council alliance in the city, I feel that I have to speak on this, and I certainly urge my colleagues to vote to extend this MOU, because I think that it was a step in the right direction to get adequate notice from DWP and transparency and the items that Tony elaborated on. And we need to stress again that the MOU is not just neighborhood councils, because neighborhood councils disseminate information to their communities. So you really are talking about the communities in the city of Los Angeles, and that's really what outreach is all about. That we want neighborhood councils to be informed, and we want them to disseminate information to their communities and to the public. So I think this is very healthy, and I would urge that we would extend this MOU.
Any other comments? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
It is unanimously approved, as it was unanimously recommended to be approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 17, two public speaker cards.
Yes, the first speaker is Manuel Gerard. I can't quite read the writing, Gerard.
Madam Secretary, I think that's Michael Gagan.
Oh, okay, sorry about that.
Pretty close. Mark Hanna of Geosyntech Consultants and I submitted comment cards in the event that you had questions about item 17. But since I'm here, I'd like to thank Marty Adams, Dave Pettijohn, Greg Reed, Russ Pearson, your city attorneys, Melanie Torrey, Julie Riley, for putting together the agreement that you have before you. We respectfully request your support. And if there are any questions, we'll happily answer them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker is Mark Hara. Hannah?
Hannah.
Okay. I'm not doing good today.
Thank you, everyone. I'm here also to answer questions if there are questions to be asked about the agreement. And I echo what Michael just stated in our appreciation for how rapidly LADWP was able to come to agreement with Metabolic Studio to bring this item to the board. So I'll be here to answer questions if there are any. Thank you.
Thank you. Do any commissioners have questions or comments on this item? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
This is also approved. Council?
At this point, we will recess in closed session to address the items in 6A, and in accordance with California Government Code Section 5495.71, we will report any final action taken thereon.